Winners Supermarket and Winners Cash and Carry, proud title sponsors of Season 12 of the Journey TV show, special daily Ramadan edition 021374 1114 www.sopertrading.com. Also follow Winners Supermarket on Facebook. Welcome to The Journey. It's your favorite show, Friday nights, Saturdays, Tuesday mornings, that is outside of June, July. My name is MJ Lee. In the month of Ramadan, daily broadcast that coincides with those 2 months. Currently in season 12, more than 160 episodes successfully broadcast, and that would really have meant very little. It would have meant very little without your support. I think importantly with my co-host and co-producer, Zainab Chafeker. We spoke about partnering with NGOs and organizations and the importance thereof. Chatting to the SPCA now, League of the Friends of the Blind Executive Director, as well as a guest who's flown exclusively out of Australia to chat to us on the show. He caught an early flight out of yesterday to arrive in South Africa and at our studios in Cape Town. Let's welcome both of them. Firstly, Executive Director of LOFOB, Mr. Armand Bam. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, MJ.
And then also our guest that has flown out of Australia, Raymond, giving us tips on how to win the 2020 Cricket World Cup. Not T20, 2025 years from now. Raymond, you think it will work? Welcome, firstly.
Oh, thanks, g'day.
You want to give us that advice now? Shall we leave it for a bit later?
You need to clone AB de Villiers.
We need 11 ABs.
That's all you need.
We need 11 ABs. Player of the season recently, players player. He walked away with all the awards, Cricket South Africa. But and fantastic talent, definitely is. But let's quickly chat about a LOFOB. Armand, I think for the benefit of our viewers of the journey, establishment, I mean, it might be a rhetorical question because you guys have been around the block a couple of times already. Maybe just establishment, background, the extensive work that your organization has been doing over the years.
Yeah, in fact, we've been around that block 82 years this year. The organization itself was started by a young blind gentleman, Mr. Isaac Jacobs, and he started the organization when he was denied schooling at that time because of the color of his skin. So the organization itself has its heritage out of providing services for historically disadvantaged people. So Mr. Jacobs, rather than just accept that he wasn't allowed to go to school, started a school, and in order to keep that school going, he developed, along with other people, this League of Friends of the Blind. And that for me is really the richness of this organization. In the 1932-33s, there was this group, this band of brothers and sisters, which is great. You know, there were people from all parts of this country that came together to form this League of Friends. And they traveled the country. At one stage we had 700 members, 30 branches across the country, and they raised money to support the school. Over the years, through the years, we survived the World War. Moving on to that, to the 70s, as you mentioned earlier, Mr. Philip Bam, Reverend Philip Bam, he ran the organization for close to 40 years, and in his retirement I took over 2 years ago. But in his period, he shifted the organization just from providing comfort care to blind, indigent people, to developing independence. And we have quite a significant program now that, you know, we've built on. Providing independence for blind people across the Western Cape. Not only for the people from the Western Cape, 20% of our clients come from the Eastern Cape, 10% come from the North, and we provide a range of services, braille literacy, teaching people how to read and write braille. Sometimes they have they're illiterate before they learn Braille, and that's the first time they actually are exposed to reading and writing. We do skills of daily living, cooking. I know you've got a segment on cooking, and I hope we'll be able to get a chance to come and show you how to cook.
That would be brilliant.
A blind person cooking. How to make a cup of tea, something you and I take for granted. You know, the basic things that would lead to facilitating someone's independence. Makeup for the women, for the gentlemen, how to shave, and then also orientation and mobility, and I think that's where Raymond comes in. He's joined us from Australia, providing the white canes that he's brought along, which are quite difficult for us to get hold of and to afford here, as one of our projects that we have got going. And then you mentioned cricket. LOFAB are the leaders really in the country when it comes to sports and recreation, and in particular cricket, blind cricket. We do tandem cycling, we do goalball, anything that anybody would like to participate in. We really go the extra mile to facilitate their reintegration and participation in society.
Wow, fantastic stuff. We're currently chatting to LOFAB, been around for over 80 years. Now, we had Reverend Philip Bam on the show twice, I think around season 7, and he shared a couple of jokes with local comedian. In fact, on that day, Stuart Taylor, will not forget that. Stuart was more, approached Mr. Bam as a fatherly figure, and I think that was one of the first times we saw Stuart Taylor being quite shy, because he's never shy when he takes the stage, so to speak, you know. So maybe we should quickly chat to Raymond, you know, who's come all the way out of Australia with these nifty canes. Before we go to an ad break, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Raymond, it's kind of like folded. You're unfolded. You want to do that quick demo for us so that we can show the viewers how nifty it is. Wow. And then maybe just lift it up broadly for the camera. And if you could maybe just turn it this way for the viewers on that side, because they've got multiple views. Fantastic. Raymond, the concept behind this helping blind people in South Africa with this cane, I mean, what prompted you to do this?
Well, MJ, I was here in December of last year as part of my involvement with blind cricket, and known Armand for a number of years through that, and have a very good friendship with him, and I stayed with him for a week after the tournament, and I was fortunate enough to go into the LOFAB offices, and I saw the difference that LOFAB were making, and I saw how Armand had inspired his staff to go above and beyond in providing service for some of the most disadvantaged people. And on my flight back to Australia, I thought there's got to be some way I can do something to help. And a number of conversations later with Armand, we identified white canes as being a real stumbling block, something that you and I take for granted, as you know, walking out and going to the shop to buy some milk or bread, or getting to and from work. If a blind person doesn't have a mobility cane or white cane, they can't do those simple things. And we identified that we needed something at a minimum 200 of these a year to satisfy just their current staff plus additional canes. And I thought, well, I can get that project up and going. I'll see what I can do in Australia. And it's not related in any way to any work that I do. It's just something that I took on as sort of a personal project, and with an ambition of maybe bringing 20 canes over. And we've managed to bring in my first shipment 101 canes, as well as additional cane tips to help, I guess, resurrect some old canes. So that there's suddenly 101 people plus that'll be able to get out the door and get to do the things that you and I take for granted. And I thought, well, that's something that will make a real fundamental difference, and that's what's inspired me to do it.
Fantastic. You know, I'm inspired sitting and chatting to you guys. Currently watching The Journey, broadcasting now daily, June, July, as a result of their holy month. Comprehensive coverage, morning, evening, and there's a late slot at night on a Wednesday. We'll give you the details a bit further. Chatting to the Executive Director of LOFAB. I'm sure you know the organization, over 80 years in existence. And then our second special guest, because both guests are special, second special guest, Raymond. Let's be fair, let's be fair. I know you guys won the World Cup, but let's be fair. Our second special guest all the way out of Australia, Raymond. We're going to go to an ad break, visit our sponsors, come back roughly 3 minutes before we conclude this conversation. Our endeavor as the Journey TV show to partner and to support LOFAB where we can in our small, humble way. Stay tuned to the show. Back from the break, you're currently watching The Journey. Anything you've missed, you can check it out on our dedicated YouTube channel. The Journey TV Show. Also like our Facebook page in the name of the same, The Journey TV Show. Suggestions, thejourneytvshow@yahoo.com. Now, we're chatting to the Executive Director of LOFOB, Mr. Armand Bam, and we also have our guest from Australia. He's given us the advice already on how to win the World Cup, Cricket World Cup in 5 years' time. Noted, Raymond. Noted. In the closing 3 minutes, Armand, projects, there is an ECD also established at the LOFOB Center. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so in the 80s, Reverend Bam, one of the things that he noticed was we had quite a few mothers coming to the center and saying that they had children who had visual impairments. And the late 80s, they started the first ECD school in the Western Cape. We're now one of 5 in the country, and still the only one within the Western Cape. And at the moment, we serve 84 families. 10 of those children are actually at our center. They're between the age of 3 and 6, and they're going through a daily preschool program, which is supported by a preschool teacher, a teacher's assistant, and then 2 occupational therapists and a social worker. So it's quite an inclusive program. And one of the things you mentioned early on was Blind Buddy Day last week. That's our main fundraising initiative to support the ECD program that we're running there. And so besides the 10 that are in our center, we go out to homes, to parents, to prepare their children, to prepare the parents as well for what it would be like to have a child who's going to go through the education system from the foundation phase, the ECD phase, through foundation phase, through the primary and the high school. And so we do that on a daily basis, traveling out to them. And it's quite, it's quite taxing work and quite costly. And we hope that through the partnership with the Journey TV show and your supporters and your followers, that we'll be able to support that service going forward.
Absolutely. We look forward to that partnership, definitely. And we'll chat soon on the show. And our idea is to highlight whatever projects it is that LOFOB is involved in and with. And we would love to also get stuck into blind cricket, definitely. Because it deserves coverage and it deserves the due attention. So possibly we can focus on that as well. But thanks to our guest also from Australia. Raymond, you'll still be in Cape Town, South Africa for a while when you're jetting back to Australia?
Another week or so before I head back, so get plenty of time to sample the great food and hospitality that Cape Town's famous for.
Fantastic. This initiative, nifty, brilliant. Thanks so much to both of you. Mr. Armand Bam from LOFOB, Executive Director. Raymond all the way from Australia with his nifty canes. We're helping just over 100 people for now?
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks so much for the chat on the show. It's duly appreciated.
Thank you very much, MJ.
The Journey TV show continues on the other end of season 12. More than 160 episodes later, we are partnering with NGOs, and this one devoted to LOFOB. Check it out.
And on the ramp we have Tasmania, looking to be fashionable yet modest. For men's and ladies' clothing, look no further than Taz Boutique. Shop 1, Block 5, Batesville Shopping Centre, next to Pizza Time. Call us on 021 633 1367 or 071 786 9495. Taz Boutique, where our passion is your fashion.
Find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tasmania.
Hi there, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to The Journey. I'm your host Zainab Chafeker, and today on the show we will be making fish curry, as fish curry is a very popular dish, not only in Cape Town, not only in South Africa, but across the globe as well. So, the secret to a perfect fish curry would be finding the freshest fish possible, and secondly the combination of the perfect spices. So before I get to the ingredients, I would first like to thank our sponsors, Portland's Meat Hyper and Delhi. And do remember that all these ingredients you can find at Portland's Meat Hyper and Delhi. So the ingredients would be our turmeric, our garlic. You could use garlic paste or crushed garlic, it's completely up to you. And then we have my gulchana or coriander powder, and then coriander. And this is seafood masala. Do remember, if you're going to use seafood masala, you don't need to add in crushed chilies because it's strong already. And then we have salt, and we have our tomato paste, and then this is 1 kilo fish, and then we have tomato and our onion. So now looking at the method on how to make this. Firstly, I have melted my butter. So I've melted my butter, as you can see. And then we add in our onions. This is 1 small onion. Saute your onions to golden, not brown, golden. And you can cover your pot. Once your onions are golden, you can add in your tomato. I'm stirring my onions so that it won't burn. Right, my onions are golden now, so you can add in your liquidized tomato. This is 5 small tomatoes. Okay, then you can mix it through. And you can cover your pot. Allow the tomato to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, now that my tomatoes are cooked through, you add in your tomato paste. And then mix well through. Close your pot and allow it to cook for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so now we add in our spices to make a nice tangy, spicy gravy. So a heaped dessert spoon of seafood masala, and then a heaped dessert spoon of gulchana or coriander powder, and then we add in our turmeric. And we mix it well through. Okay, you could add in a bit of water as the spices makes the gravy thick. Mix well through and allow it to cook for another 5 minutes. Then we'll add in our fish. Okay, so we have allowed the spices to cook for about 5 minutes, so the flavors can work through nicely. Then we add in our fresh fish. This is a kilo fish. Okay, do not stir your fish curry, rather swirl it. You don't want your fresh fish to break. And then we'll add in our dhania or coriander once the fish is cooked. So once our fish is cooked, we add in our dhania or coriander. And allow it to cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. Now that the fish curry is done, it's ready to serve. And there you have it, your fish curry. You can serve it with roti or you can serve it with rice. The choice is up to you. And not only is this delicious and smell absolutely amazing, but it's nutritious as well. As for our spices and our onions and our tomatoes and our fish packed with antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and this is perfect for colds and flus to relieve us from that and any respiratory problems that you may have. And not forgetting our fish packed with omega-3. Ladies, that is perfect for your skin. If you like glowing hair and glowing skin, you should increase that omega-3. If you like the recipe, you could contact me on 082-254-9880 or you could email us thejourneytvshow@yahoo.com. While we go for a quick break, after the break, we catch up with my co-host Mohammed Junaid. Stay tuned.
Pop on down to Portland's Meat Hyper and Delhi for these great June and Ramadan specials.
So full of light and blessings, you're always in my heart and mind. Your name is mentioned every day. I follow you no matter what. God wills for me one day, 'cause I believe. I believe.
All technology and sound equipment on the Journey TV show supplied by Soundtech. Give them a call 021-704-0596 for a branch near you in Cape Town or Durban. Check out their website www.soundtech.co.za. Pop on down to Winners Cash and Carry for these great June 2015 and Ramadan specials.
So full of light and blessings, you're always in my heart and mind. Your name is mentioned every day. I follow you no matter what. God wills for me one day, 'cause I believe.
Join me, MJ Lee,
and myself, Zainab Chafeker, for your weekly, ever popular, lifestyle-based show, The Journey.
It is the one show that has broadcast 11 seasons successfully and more than 158 episodes later. Now, coming your way, a special Journey show Ramadan edition that will be broadcast daily, effectively. From June 2015, you have to tune in on a daily basis.
Fridays 7:30 p.m, Saturdays 5:30 a.m, Sundays 5 p.m, Mondays 8 a.m, Tuesdays 6 a.m, Wednesdays 10:30 p.m, and Thursdays 5:30 a.m.
For the most balanced, integrated and comprehensive coverage of the holy month, tune in to your favorite show, The Journey, free to air on CTV in Cape Town and across Southern Africa on all 3 major bouquets on DSTV, channel 263.
Make us part of your company and tune into The Journey daily for a special Ramadan edition.
The Journey Show, proudly sponsored by